may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, this is going to be a follow-up video on the one that was uploaded yesterday where we broke down our top 6 fantasy running back rankings for the 2021 season. And I want to remind everyone, no, these are not Dynasty rankings. We have a Dynasty fantasy football channel called the Dynasty Flock where we upload every single day. You can find rankings there. Literally, I'm not going to drop a link or anything. I'm sure if you play Dynasty, you already know of the channel. You're probably already subscribed. But here we're going to be talking about what we are going to be expecting in 2021. And I need something massive from y'all. I'm just going to be completely honest here. I need y'all to advise me. I need y'all to let me know, do you want me to be talking about 2021 fantasy? Do y'all want me to possibly be doing something else? Now, I can have this channel just kind of go dormant for the offseason. Maybe we talk about something whenever we get to NFL free agency. Maybe we talk about something whenever we get to the draft, and I could just stick it to the Dynasty Fantasy Football channel for the daily videos. But I'm thinking maybe it's a good idea if I don't necessarily upload a video every single day on this channel, but just kind of keep everybody in touch. Just make sure that we are tracking these players' value as the offseason progresses. That way, by the time we get to drafting our teams for this following football year, we already have a great understanding of what we are going to be doing in our drafts. So please, guys, I'm begging you, go down to the comment section. Let me know what y'all want to hear me say. Let me know what videos y'all want me to make. And also, while y'all are down there, if you have not already, drop a like. What are you doing by now? Subscribe to the channel. Y'all know the flock is growing every single day. So anyway, let's dive into this. Let's talk about the rest of the running back one rankings. And let's kind of recap what we talked about in the video yesterday, where we had CMC as our first running back off the board. Then we had Dalvin Cook as our running back 2. Then we had Saquon Barkley as our running back 3. Alvin Kamara as our running back 4. Derrick Henry as our running back 5. And Jonathan Taylor as our running back 6. Here, let's talk about running back 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Obviously, if you want to hear those top 6 rankings in depth, just click on the channel and then go over to the last video. It is that simple. But anyway, let's go through and pull up our running back 7, who is going to be Ezekiel Elliott. And I know Zeke is falling so fast, specifically for dynasty leagues. But if you look at where he was being drafted in 2020 compared to 2021 redraft leagues, I mean, Zeke is even falling fast in basic formats. And this is because we know Zeke is off his rookie contract. We always have to be worried about running backs once they get on that second deal, as generally you see the fall off very quick. And I know nobody likes to talk about it, and I know people get a ton of hate when they bring it up, so most fantasy analysts decide not to even discuss it. But we have to acknowledge the fact that running backs go from the very top of the NFL to complete afterthoughts extremely fast, as the nature of the position just takes a toll on these running backs' bodies, especially when they're asked to carry such a load like Ezekiel Elliott has done so far at Ohio State and in Dallas. And I know Zeke is still young. He came into the NFL at a very young age, but we have to acknowledge the fact that he's had a lot of wear and tear on his body. Anyway, though, we know that going into 2021, the situation should be better for Ezekiel Elliott. We should have a healthy Dak Prescott for hopefully the majority of the year. And hopefully, fingers crossed, the Dallas Cowboys offensive line can stay relatively healthy at the same time. Because not Saquon Barkley. Ezekiel Elliott had his worst season of his entire career in 2020. And I know a lot of people just want to blame it on Dak and the offensive line struggles. But I think we also have to acknowledge the fact that Tony Pollard looked pretty damn good whenever he got the opportunity with Andy Dalton under center for a banged-up offensive line. So we can't completely ignore the fact that Zeke most likely lost a step. But regardless, if Dak is healthy, if the offensive line is able to stay healthy with CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, this is going to be one of the best offenses in the entire NFL. Zeke should be seeing the majority of the usage in that backfield. So regardless of what you think of Zeke himself, I think if you just understand the way that fantasy points are scored at the running back position, you have to have Zeke up here. You have to have him as a mid running back 1. And while I am very scared of him in Dynasty Fantasy Football, as a 2021 asset, I am fine having him as our running back 7. All right, so now let's go down one spot below and let's talk about, I don't want to say a boring running back, but someone that's been in this range for a while. And this is going to be Austin Ekeler. So now I know there are two camps with Austin Ekeler. There is the camp that says Ekeler is a top 3 running back. He's electric whenever he gets the opportunity to be the workhorse. He completely dominates. And then there's the camp that goes Ekeler's undersized. Ekeler is only going to be a receiving running back. And I think that both groups kind of get some things right, some things wrong, where the group that thinks Austin Ekeler is a top 3 running back because he can be a 3-down workhorse, they are correct in that we have seen that happen before. But where they are incorrect is just assuming that that is what the coaching staff wants in Los Angeles, and that we understand Austin Ekeler is a little bit undersized. He's extremely strong and he's extremely hardworking, and I love the running back, but the coaching staff doesn't necessarily want Austin Ekeler to be seeing the same amount of touches as an Ezekiel Elliott, as a Jonathan Taylor, as a Derrick Henry, as a Dalvin Cook, as a Christian McCaffrey. Ekeler is a different form of running back where he can still be extremely productive in what could be a top 3 NFL offense in 2021 with Justin Herbert hopefully taking another step forward. And if that's the case, just Austin Ekeler having a receiving role alone in that offense is going to dictate him to be a mid to low end running back 1. Now I will say, I'm a little bit worried that this team could go out there and they could try to address a goal line situation running back in the draft. And if that's going to be the case, yes, that's going to lower the ceiling on Ekeler. But until we see that, we have to have him right here at number 8, just because he is dynamic and we are expecting the Los Angeles Chargers offense to be fantastic this upcoming year. All right, so now let's go to our next running back, someone I am so excited to talk about. Y'all know I loved him. This channel understands that I was banging the table, screaming to buy him low in fantasy and get him off your waiver wire when Darrell Henderson was the starting running back. But Cam Akers coming in here at running back 9, we have to get excited about this. I mean, one of our biggest hits this past year was when Darrell Henderson was a low-end running back 1 and screaming into the wind with people laughing at us in the comments section that Cam Akers was the better running back there, that Darrell Henderson needed to be sold for whatever you could get, and that Cam Akers was going to have the job by the end of the year. And yeah, we were laughed at week after week after week as PFF came out here and graded Darrell Henderson as the running back 1 in Los Angeles. And I know it doesn't sound like a big deal now just because everybody's on board. Everybody knows how good Cam Akers is. But we have to take a step back. We have to know that Cam Akers was a 5-star running back. He was actually a Wildcat quarterback coming out of high school, going to Florida State. I mean, he was the talk throughout the entire country as one of the best athletes being recruited. Then he, I don't want to say struggles at Florida State, but definitely does not live up to the hype. But it's solely because Florida State had one of the worst offensive lines in the entire country, and Akers was still able to put on tape that he was dynamic, that he was an elite level athlete that could make defenders miss even in a very bad situation. Then he gets to Los Angeles at 20 years old, and one of the youngest players in the entire NFL draft last year. And when he gets that job, he turns into a full-on workhorse running back. And not to even mention that Matthew Stafford's coming in. And Matthew Stafford is going to be a significant upgrade over Jared Goff. We should be expecting the Los Angeles Rams to be significantly better this upcoming year. So yeah, Cam Akers, I mean, we have to get extremely excited. Let me know if I'm getting too excited. Just, you can tell by my voice in the comment section below. But love the running back in Akers, and I think we could actually see more receptions out of the backfield this next season because he showed that he can do it at Florida State. So hopefully Sean McVay decides to give him that role this season. All right, so now let's go to our next running back, and I know people are screaming at me as they always do to have this running back ranked higher. But here we are going to have Nick Chubb. Okay, I know, guys, Nick Chubb, fantastic running back. I mean, if we are talking about pure running back talent, Nick Chubb is a top 5 guy. I mean, I think that Nick Chubb is definitely a more talented running back than Cam Akers, Austin Ekeler, Ezekiel Elliott. Outside of that, I think we can have an argument based on the other guys. But what I always preach is talent is not everything in fantasy football. We have to understand touches. We have to understand opportunity and roles in their respective NFL offenses. And with Nick Chubb, he can have all the talent in the world. But there are a couple things, not necessarily only limiting his upside, but also lowering his floor coming into this next season. Nick Chubb is on the last year of his rookie deal. And because Nick Chubb is that elite running back talent, we are either going to see one of two things. We are going to see the Cleveland Browns give Nick Chubb an extension, or we are going to see Nick Chubb hold out and possibly miss a few games at the beginning of the year, kind of trying to work his way to that extension, because Chubb not necessarily been the picture perfect of health throughout his entire football career. I mean, we all remember in Georgia for Nick Chubb, him having that devastating injury where a lot of people thought he was never going to be the same. A lot of people thought he was never going to live up to the hype just because he completely destroyed his knee. So you better believe that Nick Chubb and his agent are going to make sure that he is not playing in 2021 without a long-term contract, which they should do. And on top of that, you know who is signed for 2021 for the Cleveland Browns? Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt has proven to be one of the top running backs in the entire NFL. Yes, he's not as talented as Nick Chubb. Yes, Nick Chubb is going to out-touch him in 2021. But what it's going to make is it's going to make a committee between Chubb and Kareem Hunt for that running back 1 and running back 1B spot on the Cleveland Browns, just because both players are so talented. So it's not Nick Chubb's fault that he's playing alongside Kareem Hunt. It's not Nick Chubb's fault that he is playing in Cleveland. While definitely they're on the rise as a franchise, they're on the rise as an offense, and what we were going to be expecting from their overall production, they're still not necessarily just at the very top of the league. So I think we can be realistic and say, yeah, I mean, we have to rank Nick Chubb as a top 10 guy, but because of his overall upside being capped with Kareem Hunt there, and because of the offense he's playing in, I think we have to have Nick Chubb down here at 10. All right, so now let's go to my next favorite running back. Y'all know this is one of my guys, DAndre Swift, and I swear to God, I want to rank DAndre Swift ahead of Nick Chubb. I just can't do it. I know y'all would get so upset with me in the comment section, but I promise you, if Matthew Stafford was in Detroit, DAndre Swift would be higher on this list. I think we would have DAndre Swift probably up there next to Ezekiel Elliott, but Jared Goff coming in is definitely going to hurt the overall offense, and if the overall offense is being hurt, we have to kind of just be realistic. We have to be objective about the situation and lower DAndre Swift down our rankings. And I know some people don't necessarily understand why DAndre Swift is being ranked right next to Nick Chubb, while he's being ranked ahead of our next running back. I'm not going to disclose them at this time, but it's because DAndre Swift is an elite level talent, and DAndre Swift has the two things in fantasy football that mean everything for the running back position. He has the receiving down role on lock for the Detroit Lions. We know that DAndre Swift is one of the best receiving running backs in the entire NFL already as a 22-year-old. And B, DAndre Swift has also earned the goal line role for the Detroit Lions. And that is where the majority of fantasy production is had for running backs. The receiving role and the goal line role. DAndre Swift has both. DAndre Swift is a great athlete. DAndre Swift is going to be seeing, I don't want to say 100 targets, but he is going to be seeing just say 6 targets a game in 2021. And that is the same mold of an Alvin Kamara. That is the same mold of an Aaron Jones. So DAndre Swift being extremely young, having both of those jobs on lock for this offense, I think we have to put him here at 11. Let me know if I'm just getting too excited, because I'll be completely honest, I'm biased with DAndre Swift. I loved him. I drafted him everywhere last year. I advise y'all to buy him low after he had a few disappointing weeks in 2020. But yeah, DAndre Swift, one of hashtag my guys. We have to have him up here at 11. And our next running back Coming in at 12 is going to be pretty much veteran DAndre Swift. This is Aaron Jones. So I know y'all are going, Mason, why the hell do you have Aaron Jones down here at 12 behind DAndre Swift? And it's because Aaron Jones is a free agent this offseason. Y'all know how in Dynasty I've been telling y'all for a year now to try to go buy A.J. Dillon because Aaron Jones was most likely not going to be a Green Bay Packer in 2021. Well, now's the time. I mean, this is what we are seeing. Aaron Jones is going to be on the move. I find it very hard to believe that the Green Bay Packers are able to bring him back just because if you look at their overall cap situation, it isn't necessarily fantastic for the team, and they decided to invest a second-round pick into A.J. Dillon last offseason, and this is a team that is going to be going out there and having to make difficult decisions across the entire roster, trying to bring in a wide receiver too, trying to determine what to do with Rodgers and Jordan Love. So with Aaron Jones, I think he's on the move. I think we're going to see him as a New York Jet. I think we're going to see him as a Miami Dolphin. I mean, he is not going to be close to the same situation that he was in Green Bay. So I think we could possibly see him landing in a situation that's very similar to where DAndre Swift is going to be in Detroit. And if they have the same jobs, if they have the same opportunity on their respective offenses, I think we prefer the younger running back. We prefer the guy that's 22, not 26. We prefer the guy that has less overall touches. We prefer DAndre Swift. They're very similar, and I think that they're going to be playing about the same roles on their respective offenses. And I know Aaron Jones was the running back 5 in points per game last year. I know Aaron Jones averaged almost 19 points per game, but it's going to be a much worse situation. And Aaron Jones is also in that Todd Gurley age. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to go with my guy, DAndre Swift. And I cannot be persuaded to do anything else. All right, now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. As always, go down there, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Actually, I definitely need you to leave a comment telling me what you want to see next because I have no idea what to do. I'm going to be completely honest. And yeah, that's it. And I hope you all have a great day. And I don't know when I'll see you next, but hopefully I'll catch y'all on the live stream sometime soon.